going against Jax. Fiora blocks one of his attacks, and then his next three, just destroy her. And so she does have the movement speed. I think that Fiora could maybe farm against Jax. She could prevent the burst. The concern is when Jax jumps in with the stun, very quickly he's going to follow it up with a lot of damage. The big concern, though, is Fiora definitely can't stop Jax from farming. Like, there's no way, even if Fiora does okay in lane, she's not going to be able to prevent Jax from farming. And Jax farmed, equals late game Jax, and obviously that's really strong.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a really aggressive harass from like a ranged AD champion, Teemo could probably probably be the strongest matchup against Jax. And we saw Teemo the other day versus Udyr, but we haven't seen Teemo a lot recently. So if he, comes back into playstyle with a double AD with like a jungler like Nautilus to protect the front line, that'd be cool.
But Teemo, he also has been fixed lately. No more bug if he gets too fast with the attack. We still get now all of our poison in. But hey, we'll have to see. And now we are in. We got the first few bans already coming up from both these teams. Karthus, Morgana, Nocturne being banned out by CLG, Urgot, and Nivian. We'll see the last ban in just a second. Soraka. All right. So Morgana, Karthus, and Nivian. A lot of stuff focused on the mid. Anivia and Karthus are both, very popular AP mids, and Morgana is just safe as all hell. And here's the thing: we banned out the Nocturne from CLG, and they first pick Kog'Maw. And Nocturne, he's that jungler if you want to go in and zoom in for the back line. And now that's not available to anybody. Kog'Maw, fantastic first pick.
Yeah, and I'm curious what Froggen will play now. He has, obviously a wider range of champions. He's one of the most versatile players and just so strong in that mid lane. Obviously, banning out the Anivia. Froggen, you just can't let him have Anivia. It's always, fun to watch, but it really goes along with that chart that he released a long time ago where he's like, okay, so how does Anivia do in lane versus all the other AP mids? And it's like, Anivia beats everyone. And she's just a really safe champion. The way you shut down Anivia is with an aggressive jungle and stealing blues and whatnot, but even so, she, can farm into late game and have just so much fight control. But like you said, that Kog'Maw pick is definitely going to be safe. There is the potential for an AP Kog'Maw, but we haven't seen AP Kog in quite a while. It does have some of that versatility, but I would think that we'll probably see someone. I don't know. I think we'll have to hold off on the AP mid right now because we have two tanks for the front line for mTw. So Froggen really doesn't know who he would want to go. I don't think. He might want to go someone like Ahri. Ryze would be a really strong pick. He might just pick up Ryze right now before mTw gets the chance, because if mTw grabs Ryze, then they're going to have Shen, Alistar, and Ryze. So they're going to have two tanks, and then Ryze, who's obviously tanky. The Shen ult will also, combo well with Ryze, the taunt. They can protect him, and then Ryze will be so strong late game. But then if CLG picks up Ryze, then they have that core center of Kog'Maw, Mundo, and Ryze, which is always a really strong team to have those frontline tanks of Mundo and Ryze. Then you have two super, awesome late game carries, Ryze and Kog'Maw. Janna, definitely a strong pick, though. I will, never say that Janna was a poor decision. It's just such a strong pick overall.
And Janna's, she's one of the top supports right now, and we've actually been reflected that we've seen a lot of Janna bans. We've been seeing a lot of Soraka bans as well. We saw Soraka just kind of like completely fall out of contention once we had the heal nerfs. But then people realize, like, oh man, we forgot. She gives the armor too, and she works well with very tanky bodies like Mundo, like Shen, like Ryze, like Alistar, and but we've got CLG grabbing her, and now we see mTw. They're considering the Jax, considering the Lee Sin. And
the issue with Jax, he's actually decent in the jungle, and I do know a couple of people who at some point or other were like, oh my god, Jax jungle is the new OP.
I jungled Jax before. I was jungling Jax when Freak was
before
still
it was cool?
But when it was like me and Freak, that was like, it was those days.
Okay, well... But yeah, I mean, he is a strong overall jungler. The only issue is obviously you won't have the same late game threat that you do in the top lane. It slows you down a little bit. But Lee Sin definitely works, and I wouldn't like to send Shen in the jungle. We've seen Shen jungle a lot recently, and it's... I don't know. It's okay, but I'm never a big fan of it.
Well, Shen jungle... the instances where we see Shen jungle, it's an attempt where... we pick Shen with the intent to just grab him and hold on to him, and we get counterpicked very badly in top lane. So we feel, the teams feel a necessity to put Shen in the jungle to make sure that they can have a better matchup in the top lane. It's a desperation.
No, that was the issue, and that's never a good situation to be in. Obviously, he does have some nice taunts and whatnot, but he's just too slow of a jungler. Doesn't provide enough control. So having Ashe and Lee Sin is definitely going to be a nice combo. Ashe and Alistar, they have a lot of kill potential bottom. Kog'Maw doesn't have, that kind of escapability, so Janna will keep him safe. However, once we see Ashe hit 6, then all of a sudden, a whirlwind just isn't going to be enough. We have the Ashe arrow to Kog'Maw. Alistar comes in very quickly. There's the threat of picking up kills there, but it seems like we're going to have, a cleanse on Yellow Pete for that Kog'Maw, so that'll definitely work out for him. Or I guess maybe not. I guess it's on... I don't know. We'll have to see. Cleanse would work on the Kog'Maw, though. That would be a smart decision. Yeah,
and just we want to be safe. If we somehow get Ashe arrowed or Shen taunted, we want to be able to okay, listen, I want to just be able to get out of this very sticky situation. Let's reset, go back to the back line. And it's also an emergency tactic if Janna is not nearby to ult or tornado or to slow or something to that effect.
It works on Ziggs as well, and I think I would like to see it on Kog'Maw, but the thing is, late game, they maybe don't need to worry about it as much. Ziggs, he's a poke champion, so they're running that poke. He is very strong in the mid game. Oh, no, we do see. So both Kog and Ziggs will be running Cleanse, which is a smart decision. We have a huge pick-off team now because we have Ashe and TF, and that's just so aggressive early. It's very easy to pick up kills. And then you got to consider the Shen as well. So we have, essentially 3 globals. It's such an aggressive team. They're going to be looking to snowball very quickly. So what they can do, what CLG is looking for, the Ziggs pick, he's very strong in lane. He has the range where he can harass TF. And so TF, generally speaking, is a very safe mid. He can lane against, any mid fine because of his range. Ziggs might be trying to get in a little bit of harass. He did pick the Ziggs before the TF pick, but, so he has that to go for him. Ziggs can push very aggressively into the tower, and that's one thing you always want to do against TF is try and throw him into the tower so that he can't get off those aggressive ganks that he likes. Later in the game, he's going to be looking to poke, and that's primarily what Ziggs does. He's poke and zoning. So the zoning is really nice for Kog'Maw to try and, protect him a little bit. Yep. However, the poke means that he is going to be more upfront than you would normally be as an AP mid. And so normally as that caster late game, you're going to sit behind your Renekton, you're going to sit behind your Mundo. Zig is going to be poking up to that front line, which makes him more vulnerable to those Ashe arrows, so having that cleanse definitely helps him a lot.
Yeah, we do have the bouncing bombs, we do have a little bit of range, and that's the thing. One of the big pieces of damage output from Ziggs is his passive. After so long, we get extra damage on our auto attacks, and we need to be able to be very close in order to get those. But but we have Kog'Maw with us as well. We have the bouncing bombs. We have the Cog ult. We have the capabilities of a lot of very long ranged harass, and those are really long ranged abilities. And we got the Ziggs nuke for even more damage on stacked on top of that. I like the fact we have Renekton, we have Mundo, we have a very tanky front line, we have Janna there to protect. So we see a lot of team comps where okay, the objective is protect the AD. Mm-hmm. Now we have 2 members on the back line shooting out all this damage, and we may see mTw trying to break through that front line, taking way too much damage from Ziggs and Cog, and we may see them have no other option but to back off.
Yeah, and it is a very interesting comp. I'm curious how it'll work for them, and I actually really like it a lot. Like you said, having Renekton and Mundo, they both scale very well with items, but they also both are very tanky early in the game without any items. And so, regardless, they can hold the front line very well. It's going to be difficult for them to penetrate and get into the back line with Cog and Ziggs. But you see, CLG, their whole game plan is they have the Janna movement speed to give them a little bit more map control. And the goal of that is, okay, let's not lose the early game. Let's, be able to control the early game a little bit. Renekton is very strong in lane, so they won't, hopefully lose the early game. Their plan is to win late, and they have a really strong late-game team. They can sit there and push them at the towers, start poking them down, take the towers. They have the late-game damage, but they don't have any aggressive summoners early. So we have 3 exhausts, which is going to be nice, but no ignites, prevents some of their burst. The exhaust does give them a lot of killing potential, mostly in the top lane. There's not they really won't be going for kills in the bottom against the Ashe and Alistar. But on the other hand, we have 2 Ignites, a heal, from mTw. So they're really looking to press the advantage early, and they do have that early advantage if they can get it going. We do see Shen is going to be jungling, though, much to my chagrin. But Lee Sin, so here's the thing is, Shen, I think, they wanted to go Shen top, and Shen, generally speaking, is a very strong top lane, but
here we go again.
Renekton, like you said earlier, it's just not the best matchup. Renekton is such an aggressive top lane champion. He has enough regen that Shen can't slowly wear him down, and then, Renekton is just going for kills, has just so much kill potential. So they want the Lee Sin matchup there. It will be a little bit more of a favorable matchup. However, they lose a lot of that aggression that they were going for with the jungle. But once Shen hits 6, they still have his ultimate, to give them that presence in fights. And to go with TF and Ashe is just such a killer combo.
Yeah, but Mundo is pretty fast jungler.
Right.
One of the fastest junglers. Shen, the speed just quite isn't there.
You're right.
Really. So we may actually see opportunities, a lot of opportunities for CLG to actually kind of swoop in, go ahead, steal raids. We can actually, Ziggs, he can just walk around, just 2 bombs. You got the bouncing bomb, we got the satchel, we just walk in, blow up the wraiths, walk out. We can take our own raids if we want. So we can see we have a lot of options.
Yeah,
for very quick counter jungling here for CLG as well.
If I was mTw, I would throw down a fast ward over by their red. And so because Shen, he's a single target jungler, he's one of the slower junglers in the game, he's going to be, taking his time going through the jungle. Mundo's obviously very fast. Mundo can start at blue, then go over, steal red very easily, and Shen won't get there in time. So he has enough of a clearing speed that he can get that advantage. So if mTw wards early at the red, then maybe they can catch Mundo while he's invading. We've seen that a lot, against Mundo. You get the ward down by like the wraiths, and it allows you to catch that invasion. He could come around the backside, but that is definitely something they want to consider. And then obviously if Mundo has the double buff, he will have level 3 compared with the level 2 for Shen. There's that killing potential in the jungle. He has the exhaust, or he could come into the top lane. And Lee Sin generally a really safe top lane. However, Renekton has the stun, has a lot of aggression, and if Mundo comes in with the fast level 3 double buff, that could be a really aggressive situation for them that they kind of just want to avoid.
Yeah. I'm also, I do really like the triple exhaust here from CLG. Now that I think about it, because really, one of the best one of the best options for mTw right now to engage on that back line. Really, one of their very few options is for TF to use the ult and try and get a positional advantage, grab a yellow card, and try and stun either Kog'Maw or Ziggs. Mm-hmm. Both of which have cleanse. Both of which, it's not going to work all too great for them. So, if they get caught out, exhaust on TF. I see exhaust going on TF quite a bit in this matchup.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It does, reduce his damage output a little bit. It's probably more likely on some of the physical carries because of how much it reduces them, but it is a good defensive and offensive summoner, so it's just good all around. You see right off the bat, now mTw, they recognize that Mundo, that would be a good path for Mundo to take, to start off with that blue, come steal that red, so they're coming in very aggressive because they have such a powerful level 1 team. This, it's one of the strongest level 1 teams I've ever seen, honestly.
You have
Morgana, obviously if they had Morgana instead of TF, it would be slightly stronger, but TF with the cards is still really strong. So to be able to get this, blue off on Shen, and then he can come safely back to his red. And so Mundo, he's going to start at their blue, or he's going to start at his red. It looks like he's starting at their blue. He's not going to have enough time to come over into Shen's red. And so as a result, Shen is going to have a safe double buff. Oh, we have Ashe not going to take any damage. So Shen, now because they're invading the blue, will have a safe double buff, doesn't have to worry about that early jungle invasion from Mundo.
Snoopy grabbing all but one of the wolves. We're going to be walking now. We're going to leave that one wolf. We're going to be a little bit of a jerk so that camp is not going to respawn until that wolf is killed. And now we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the blue for ourselves. But Easy, he's there grabbing the blue with Shen. But now we got Alistar actually here trying to say something. Red Snow is like, hey, what are you guys doing? You're taking our stuff? Snoopy's like, yeah, we are. And just walks away.
Yeah, and so you see now there's not really enough time for Mundo to get up there, and so that does buy Lee Sin a little bit of time. It may result in some aggression top though, because we have the Shen taunt, we have Wicked going to try and get out of there, and actually some nice quick damage from Lee Sin. He does have the health pots, he will be okay, but it does put him behind a little bit. The lane is pushing to his tower, not that big of a concern though.
Yep. I like the purchase of the slice and dice first because we knew we had an idea. Shen, he's taking our stuff.
Right.
He might have a presence here, and that's a very good skill to have. Just to have the extra mobility. We almost got out of range of the taunt. We just caught the end of it. But still, though, we created enough distance for us to safely get back to tower.
And that is one of the benefits of Shen, obviously, is that he has that level 2 taunt. And now Lee Sin versus Renekton is a pretty nice matchup. Renekton still has a lot of bursts. Lee Sin has to watch out for that. But if Lee Sin can get in, use his mobility, poke him around a little bit, then he definitely is strong. But Renekton, once he hits like around level 4, is when he primarily looks for his aggression. And Easy is back. He is coming in for this gank once again with the double buff.
So we're going to try again, but we got a Mundo in the neighborhood as well. Snoopy is around. We threw a cleaver to try to get something to happen, but we blew. We made him force the taunt to try and create some distance and trying to avert this gank. And Wicked is just going to go ahead. He's safe for now. Going to continue farming, but Crest has a little bit of an early lead on him. But we'll see if that gap widens. We actually got a little bit of aggression here, and Renekton does have a very good kit just for top lane overall. I mean, we have a lot of damage available to us. We've got our stun available to us. And, not to mention, he's a rage-based champ. Doesn't use mana, but we got Lee Sin, energy-based. So they're going to be staying in top lane. They have no worries about mana or anything like that. So they're going to be there for a while. But do we actually... I'm pretty sure we did not see Easy go up into that top brush. So it could be a little bit of a rude awakening here. But Crest is actually pushing out pretty far. So minion wave is bigger for mTw. So we will be pushing back here. We may just see Easy wander into the next bush. Once we see the wave push up, we really want to get that kill on Wicked. We really want to put him behind.
Yeah, there's not really going to be that kill potential now. Shen will have to wait around for a while, but we are seeing that Caress is doing a very nice job against Wicked in that top lane. Oh, we'll see if he comes out. I thought they might try and bait out the dash from Wicked if he's trying to go in and exchange some damage with Lee Sin, which he really doesn't want to do because Lee Sin has the cloth in 5. And so Mundo actually coming up, maybe thinking that there's a gank here, and Shen coming in, and we have Snoopy as well. We have the double exhaust coming off, and so Caress getting a lot of damage onto Wicked, gets that ignite, but he will have to back off. And now Snoopy is dangerously low. If he gets that kick, not going to do it. So they will back off, be fine. However, Lee Sin started with cloth and 5 health pots, so not only does he have to... Oh, wow.
Here. He's not too far away. If we can get a yellow card, if we can push the wave up...
It would be so dangerous to dive this, though.
We need to push the wave up. Actually, I believe we have been spotted. We do have pings going off. Just to be aware, it's like, hey, TF is missing. He's not in mid. We have a pretty good idea of where he is. He's level 5. He's not level 6. He's almost there. And here we go. We got the yellow card. We are primed. Wicked. We got the stun. We got the ignite, and Caress is here. We missed the Q, but we now have to burn the flash. Stun. We got the stun. Will Caress be able to get away? He does shield, but Mundo is here. Snoopy, we should be able to finish and follow up on this one, but we did give up first blood on that, though.
Yeah, it was first blood, but they are able to get some of that advantage back. And the big thing is Renekton was going to start losing that lane regardless. So for him to be able to go back and have an even trade with Lee Sin, I think he's perfectly fine with that. Like I was saying a second ago, Lee Sin starting off with the cloth and 5 health pots. So not only does he exchange damage better than Renekton does, but he also has longer regen. So, he just could out-sustain Renekton in lane. And you saw, because Renekton has to get up front to the creeps, he is very vulnerable to the combos from Lee Sin. Lee Sin could sit there, shield in or get a free Q to the face. And then when Renekton is trying to be aggressive and dash after Lee Sin just takes a hop back, no big deal. And so he was exchanging very well. But we do see... Mundo and Ziggs here coming down. I'm not really sure what they're doing, if they're going to, come down for this quick dragon. Wow. And with Renekton here, this should be pretty safe. We don't have any vision, but they did see Cog and Janna coming up, so they will be chasing onto this dragon.
Easy Red Snow and coming up. Transy, they know the dragon is being attempted here. We got it secured. CLG grabbed it for themselves. All 5 members are here. They're looking to party, and they got the dragon pretty easy for themselves. Nice, healthy goal lead for them right now for the moment. And also want to note, we actually got Scumbag Crepo getting caught out. We got the yellow card from TF. Will we get it? Yes, we got a flash over the wall, secure the stun, and that is a kill for Ash.
Yeah, Crepo lagging behind a little bit there. I'm a little bit surprised to see him, sitting out there. But regardless, they did get the Dragon Gold. Here's the concern, though, and Renekton, he is slightly behind right now. It isn't really that big of a deal. He is close to finishing a Brutalizer, and then he'll have just so much damage. He wanted to get out of lane, get to level 6, because his minions were so far pushed up, he didn't have an opportunity to go in lane, because Lee Sin would just be so aggressive in that top lane. So, okay, let me roam a little bit. I'll go down, help my team get Dragon. I'll come back, and now all of a sudden it's pushing into him, pushing into his tower. He is close to being 6, and that's, this is around the time where he can start being aggressive against Lee Sin. Lee Sin, definitely has that early advantage, but we can start to see this lane shifting back into Wicked's favor. And once he has like that Brutalizer, maybe even a Phage after the Brutalizer, he's just going to have so much follow-up damage onto Lee Sin.
Yeah, and we actually see, Cress, he's walking around a little bit. We're getting a ward down pretty far down the road because we know we're pushing up really far. We're really just trying to shove Wicked to his own tower. So if we're going to have, someone come up and gank us, we want to know as far in advance as we can. And Mundo, if he pops the ult, he's got the movement speed. He can be at he can be at top lane pretty quick once we start passing the Baron area. So, and does he have that's right, we have the exhaust. We do not have Ghost on him. So, if Mundo decides to make a presence, we want to know about it in far advance as we can, unless we decide to actually go through enemy territory. Easy is grabbing the red. He's more likely to be grabbing it for himself. And then we also have the ward. The ward that was placed by Wraiths earlier from CLG has now expired. We may see them replenish that soon. And we also got blue being passed on over to Froggen on Ziggs.
And another thing that's interesting to consider is that Wicked really is on an island in that top lane. And a lot of times you look at top lane as, it's the most vulnerable lane. You are kind of separated from the rest of the team. Mundo as a jungler, Shen is going to want to be ganking top lane. That's, for sure. We know that. Mundo as a jungler would normally want to use his speed to counter gank top lane and be like, okay, I'm going to sit up here, no big deal. However, because of the TF pick, counter ganking top lane is usually not a great decision because now instead of, just escaping, you bait yourself into a fight that turns into a 3v2 and very quick kills with TF. So Mundo primarily is going to want to sit away from here. Wicked just needs to be playing very safe in lane because he's not really going to get a lot of help throughout this game. And the main goal is, again, just, keep up the farming advantage, see what we can do to pull ourselves into that late game, and then use that long-range harass that we have.
However, we've already recognized that HuYu's actually left mid lane quite a bit already, and that reflects itself in the creep scores. Ziggs 83, TF 66. We saw TF earlier wandering up towards top lane. We really wanted to get the kill on Wicked, so he was there for quite a fair amount of time. So while we were up there this entire time, Ziggs, Froggen, he's sticking in mid. He's just farming. He's like, you're not here. All right, I'll just take all this stuff for myself. Sure, why not? 10 minutes in, and so we actually see the damage output from Froggen. We got the nuke. Oh, wow, we actually got the kill on HuYu. A quick kill in mid from behind tower. You can see that's the burst potential that Ziggs has, and we're going to be seeing that even more so in the late game. And, Ziggs already has a kill on him. He's already more than about 25 creep kills ahead. We've got quite a healthy wall on him too, and he's not too far away from starting up on an needlessly large rod if he so desires. Yeah,
and getting that harass down on that mid tower, it is very close to going down. They're just going to take it. Yeah, and so that provides them a lot of map control, and they want map control against this team. We see the Whirlwind denying that Headbutt Pulverize combo, and so some nice damage from Yellow Pete using his range in this bottom lane. And now here's the thing. We know that mTw wants to be really aggressive and control the map. Well, with the movement speed from Janna and with Mundo, his clearing speed, now having that mid tower down, they can start to, CLG can start to exert some pressure back and not have to worry about, the control that mTw has so much.
Yep. So we're even in kills, but we had a dragon for CLG. We got a little bit more superior farm for them as well. So that's that reflects itself in the gold, about a K.5. They got the lead on that. We do still see Caress, top lane, pushing ridiculously aggressive. And now we've seen Snoopy is not spending as much time in top lane looking for those counter ganks as he was before. He's now taking a lot of this time. He's going to himself. He's farming. He's got his heart of gold. We got a little bit of GP10 on us. I believe we are probably going to be looking to build into a Soul Shroud or Warmogs next soon. And yeah, for the time being, though, we're just going to go ahead, stick it out, and farm what we can. We do have 2 Dorans and the Wriggles here on Lee. He's looking to sustain quite a bit. He's got quite a fair amount of lifesteal on him. And Renekton here, we have the Brutalizer. We're looking to try and break through the shield to get a little bit more damage on him while we can. We also do have the Ninja Tabbies there. We're looking to resist, and we actually got the ult being popped by Wicked. Now he's really starting to go in here on Crest, but he does Dragon kick him away. We've created enough distance.
The nice thing that Wicked really did there, not only does he know he has that killing potential, a lot of times you can actually use Renekton's ult to just give yourself a little bit sustain in lane, and so he was getting low. Yeah. So when you use the ult, when the ult goes down, it gives you health. When the ult goes down, you keep that health even though your max health drops. So it's kind of like a heal boost, and it's a pretty short cooldown.
Really
but
short cooldown.
The nice thing that he did, not only was he using it just to kind of to stay in lane, but he also jumped to the other side of Lee Sin before the ult came off, so now Lee Sin has a longer path to go around. And then he actually has a little speed advantage here, so he's going to be down at this dragon before Lee Sin is, if they decide to contest this. It is getting down pretty low, and so they will be able to grab it, but everyone is low, and Renekton is coming in fast now. He's going to try and get the stun into Red Snow. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the range, so they will be able to get out of there.
Granted, he does have level 2 boots. Alistar only does have level 1 boots. We say, like, you know what, we're a little bit too far out. We're just not going to go ahead and press this. Okay, we got the first one. You can have the second one. We'll be back. We'll be sure to secure the next ones for ourselves. But for the time being, though, is we got Renekton to travel all the way down from top lane. So did Crest. So now top lane is just going to remain stagnant for now. Whoever gets back there first, they'll be able to go ahead, pick up all that farm, push all the waves to tower. We may see Renekton do it. Wicked, are you just going to farm in the jungle? No, now we're going to be making our way back up. So we should be getting back to top lane before Crest does. Bot lane, Yellow Pete, and Crepo are actually being pushed a little bit. We're being pushed to tower, trying to deny some of those creeps, but they will be able to catch up all of those. And Froggen, who he was missing from mid for a little while, and see, he keeps leaving mid, allowing Froggen to get all of this farm uncontested. And look at it reflects itself once again. He's 40 creep kills up. We got the needlessly large rod. He's going to be dishing out a lot of pain soon.
Yeah, and we see in this bottom lane, Yellow Pete and Crepo just using that long-range damage from Kog'Maw, able to just harass them down very effectively. He does have the range advantage, and I think it's interesting we haven't seen any ganks coming in through this bottom lane, and they have a lot of kill potential now. We are getting to that point where they might consider just tower diving them. The concern is obviously that Shen is 2 levels behind Mundo right now, and Mundo, right, we said earlier, is going to tend to shy towards bottom lane. Top lane, there's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to accomplish, and then bottom lane, he can help protect Kog and allow them to get that farm. So I think that's their main concern right now, is they don't want to be running into a situation tower diving and then all of a sudden realize that they're outmanned.
We got pings going down on mid by Froggen from mTw. We saw a quick little conversion. We thought we'd see everyone from mTw actually just go and converge in on mid. But we're like, you know what? Now it's all back off. It's kind of like we do have ward placement down in both rivers just to check for ganks, just to see if Snoop A is in the area. And hey, he's here. Do we have vision? Snoop A, we did catch it just coming out of the jungle. But TF is coming up
as well, so now if Snoop A comes in, he has the exhaust. We have the Shen ult and the TF ult, so Wicked will go down, and Snoop A as well is very close to going down, but he will get out of there.
Snoop A does pop the ult. He does have the extra movement speed, but we did have TF actually come on up, teleported in. The flash away from Wicked was not enough to get away from all the damage. And we did have Easy's back also ult on into that fight as well, just to help out, just to go ahead and secure that kill. But in the meantime, we've got Yellow Pete and Crepo now pushing down bot tower.
Yeah, if they can get an early tower advantage, that's definitely going to be huge. They might want to just leave it up because they do have the harass advantage against Ashe and Alistar, and if they start pushing past that tower, then it opens up more opportunities for TF and Ashe to combo those ganks, which is definitely not something they want to have. So just getting it low so they can knock it over later, but we'll leave it up currently. Ashe obviously was there to stop it regardless.
Yeah.
But right now, they are farming fairly successfully. We do have it is an even lane between Ashe and Kog'Maw, but Kog with the harass advantage, and actually going to be having a faster Infinity Edge than Ashe, because Ashe starting off with the Zeal. The movement speed is nice, but we actually see Easy is back coming in on Froggen. The nice little bounce going to get him out of there. So the movement speed is nice on Ashe, but not having that burst damage or that strong damage output in fights is going to put her back because she does have pretty low base damage.
I don't think, I'm pretty sure right now, like CLG, they're looking to take towers. They had no reservations, just straight out taking the mid-tier 1. So given the opportunity, I'm pretty sure Yellow Pete will go ahead and just take out the tier 1 down bot as well, because you know, global gold, always a good thing. How are they doing in lane? And it's still pretty even bot lane in terms of creep. I mean, we do have a kill advantage on Ashe, but you know, if we manage to take out that bot tower, it's more gold for us. We can try and widen the gap while we can. And even then, this entire time, if we can actually force people out of mid, we've seen HooYu actually wandering around quite a bit, and that's just giving Froggen so much more time to just farm up. And we're going to see him hit like 200 creep kills pretty soon, while TF is still pretty far behind. Granted, gold-wise, we actually see Ziggs is 1K over TF.
Yeah, and the concern is that TF is starting off with that Sheen, and so the Sheen gives him more kill potential in ganks. But then in team fights, because TF has fairly short range, Sheen actually hurts him a lot for damage output, because you don't want to be close range enough where you're using Sheen constantly. So it's generally better to have just like pure AP, so you have more poke. We do have Wicked, again just using the ultimate to stay in lane, and they're not being aggressive. They're not looking for kills. He's just going to use it to kind of farm up a little bit. But so TF missing out on some of that AP, that would also help with farming. And so having some fast ability power on TF, like if he had a needlessly large rod, you can just insta-clear creep waves and be very easy at pushing there. We do see Shen coming down here. If Cog takes a step too close, that is going to be a concern, particularly with the Ashe arrow.
We do still have the Ashe arrow available to us for initiation. If we just get point blank right here on the Yellow Pete, we have an easy time just walking up, getting the taunt. We could actually get the kill. But we see them, actually everyone from CLG is now converging once again. We got the red over here. Yellow Pete's going to go ahead and grab it for himself. And we also see Wicked down here putting some wards, getting ready for the next dragon respawn, which should be coming up pretty soon. Actually, everyone's starting to get ready for it right here. We got mTw here securing their own blue before it starts. Going to be giving that over to TF, and Dragon is now up, and CLG is actually in a really good spot right now.
Yeah.
We got vision on them. And they actually may be gone before mTw even gets down there.
Yeah, and with Kog'Maw having that Infinity Edge and having the red buff, they have so much damage they can clear it fast. And the issue is Ashe was bottom lane, so there was not an opportunity for mTw to engage. So now CLG, their team fighting potential is a lot stronger than mTw's right now. And mTw had that pick-off potential, but it's not working out. And now with the range, they're just pushing right down this mid lane. Ashe and Alistar are bottom. If they decide to keep pushing, they are actually just going to back off. They don't want to deal with the range clearing capabilities of TF, but I thought they could maybe pressure that base turret a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel we could have gone a little bit further on that. We had definitely the man advantage, and we didn't see Ashe or Alistar even waivers. Like, oh, you guys are all mid. We're just going to stay here. We're going to take your tier 1. Trading tier 1 for a tier 2, not the greatest of trades, but they were out of position. They were in no place to defend.
Yeah, and CLG is fine with playing the safe game right now, and that's what they've been doing the entire game. Like we said earlier, they didn't have the aggressive summoners. They know that their team fight is going to be strong as the game progresses, so they're just sitting back and farming. They got the Nether inhibitor, so they don't have to worry about split pushing. They're not looking to push top and bottom. They're really just looking to push right down that mid when they have opportunities and farm up otherwise.
Froggen, you almost got caught a little bit too far out there, but right now Froggen is the one who's got he's the one who's got the fat wall here on CLG. And he's taking it all the way to the bank. We've got the Rabadon's death cap as is. We're just going to keep on building and stacking more AP. And he's going to be on that back line being guarded by Renekton and Mundo very soon, just dishing out bouncing bombs the entire time, wearing down mTw very soon. He definitely has the money to support all that damage. In the meantime, we also have TF. One of his main items that he gets as AP is Lichbane. That's a big source of a lot of his burst, because he'll go in, he'll teleport, stun, get an auto attack off, and then for the most part his burst is done. So he needs to try and maximize that as much as he can, and he requires a lot of money to do so.
Yeah, the issue is if he starts off with that Lichbane first, I really don't think he would, but if he does, then he's actually really reducing his damage output, because Lichbane versus Sheen right now, they're about even. It's almost the same damage.
Right.
Before you have, I don't remember the exact number, it's like 160 ability power. Sheen actually does more damage on an AP caster than Lichbane does, because it scales off of ability power, whereas Sheen scales off of your flat attack damage.
So we actually see him build a needlessly large rod.
I would hope so.
And finish that, finish the death cap first, then we go into the Lichbane. But the thing is, though, we see them buy the Sheen first, just so we have a little bit extra burst, because we just want to try and maximize our burst potential here.
Yeah, and so if you take a look at how much gold he is, he's been sitting on gold for a while. He probably is getting that. Yeah, so he needs a little bit more. It is, let me think, like 2,600. Oh, actually, the arrow, it's going to hit Renekton. The flash from Wicked getting out of there.
Nice timing.
Yeah, and you can see on the map that was on a direct course. But
there,
yeah, so having the Rabadons on TF is going to be huge, and they need that fast to have that poke in fights. But Wicked's going to be very safe, just taking them here underneath this tower. You definitely don't want to tower dive a Renekton, and so he's actually engaging. But Alistar's here as well. He will want to back off, and now we see all of CLG is kind of moving up into this top lane. They know, all right, we want to stick together as a team now for the most part. We don't want to allow them to pick us off. So if we split, then obviously mTw has that pickoff potential. Now we can come and use the long range that COG has.
There we go.
Take down this top tower very easily. So it is a safe top tower, and they can just keep on pushing, and mTw can't stop them unless they want to engage a fight.
The long range from COG and from Zig. You see the bouncing bomb taking as much time as it needs, traveling the entire distance before, we're trying to space out as best we can to maximize our damage. Wicked is out in front. We do have the ult pop trying to absorb as much damage as we can from TF and from Shen, but Red Snow is off way too far out. Got caught out. The Shen ult went down on him, but he died before Shen could even be there. And now
that was probably fortunate, since Shen would, go down otherwise.
Yeah, he would have melted otherwise too. He's like, yeah, you know what? I kind of regret this decision here. But yeah, we're seeing mTw trying to defend this tower, but now we have all this damage output from Froggen. Just bouncing bombs alone is going to be enough to keep them at bay for CLG to go ahead and poke this tower down.
The zoning of their team is just so strong right now. Kog'Maw, obviously in the back line, is very strong at this point. But then having the Ziggs, and actually they're going to engage in Lee Sin, and with the exhaust they will get it. The flash from Crepo for the Monsoon. They will be able to pick up that kill.
And the tower.
And they're so strong right now. They have, Ziggs for the zoning. It's so difficult to get past Mundo and Renekton. There's no way for mTw to get into that back line. Then they have Janna, obviously, for more protection. So the entire time they can sit there and just deal this range damage, and mTw doesn't have enough damage to take out the frontline tanks. We do see COG is a little bit caught here, though. We have the pings going off from Red Snow. If TF used his ultimate, it is up. He's not going to come in for it. That was definitely kind of a dangerous situation, but he will be able to get out of there. And a 4K advantage for CLG. We'll have to see what mTw starts doing. They can, split push a little bit, try and pull CLG out of position. So that's what they really want to do, is they want to pull CLG out of position, try and pick up kills. One kill here, one kill there, get advantages in their favor. But CLG is just playing so smart, so safe. Only 4-3. At 25 minutes in, because they know, all right, we're going to win these team fights. Let's not have hard engages otherwise.
I also like the item builds here that we see on our two big frontline tanks. We got Renekton, we've got the Randuin's Omen. Very good call. If we're going to be up on the front line, we go ahead, push on the active. Everyone's going to be a little bit slow. They're going to be a little less effective. And he's also got a red potion for himself too. If things get a little bit too hairy, he needs that extra health in a pinch. Mundo, Warmogs, fantastic. We have all the health we need. We got chain and cloth armor on ourselves. Doubt we're going to be seeing the Thorn Mail. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be seeing the Thorn Mail. Possibly Guardian Angel. We could be seeing that too.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see, what mTw is trying to do. But again, like you just said, they're just so tanky up in that front line. And so, we haven't started pressuring yet, but we're at that point where we could consider going for the Baron. But CLG might not even want to, because their strength is when they're in the jungle. That's actually a weakness of theirs. They don't want to be in the jungle. It can result in, maybe COG is slightly out of position, gets hit with an Ash Arrow or something.
Yeah.
They do have the cleanse, so obviously the cleanse on both COG and Zig is, was just so smart. But we actually see mTw is going to be pressuring over this Baron. They want to engage a fight. Now, CLG, they're at their best when they're in lane. When they're in the jungle, things get a little bit hairy, get a little bit dicey. But when they're in lane, everything is straightforward. You can have, the zoning up front. And now we see mTw able to steal that blue and maybe even getting engaged on Ziggs, though he seems to be fairly safe right now.
Wicked's a little bit too far. He does pop the ult, and we actually force the Ash Arrow onto him. He's out in front taking all the damage. We actually got Crepo here trying to do something. We got Alistar start popping ult. The Ziggs bomb now going down 4 members of MTW. Snoop is trying to get away. We do have the popped ult, and we do have Ignite on him as well. We got Jana Shields going down to try and protect him. We got Wicked. Can he get to safety? No, he cannot, but we got all these members of MTW being trapped. We have Red Snow flashing over the wall, trying to get away, but Ziggs should be able to push him down. We have Prepo ulting to try and protect Snoop best we can, and we actually do get the kill there on Alistar. Wah is being caught out way too far out. We do have the heal popped, but the damage from Kog'Maw is just a little bit too much, and now we got Shen. He does successfully recall, but Caress may not be as lucky.
Oh, he missed the ward to get over the wall. That's a shame.
Like,
but
man, I can't believe
did he use his flash as well?
He used his flash as well.
So he missed the ward to get over the wall, and then missed the flash over the wall.
Oh,
and
that's
so
unfortunate.
You saw that whole that entire fight.
Yeah, he just standing still. Like, oh man, I
Right.
can't believe I missed that. Well, you know what? It's okay. I got my flash. We got a second chance. Oh man, I can't believe I missed that.
But that entire fight, CLG, there just wasn't enough damage from MTW to take them down, and so they were able to kill Renekton.
Yeah.
But obviously, Renekton is just so super tanky with his ultimate. He doesn't need to build health because he gets health naturally.
Yeah.
And so having Renekton and Mundo obviously up there, they can't kill them. All their burst is down, and now you have to deal with Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw is one of the best champions in the game at picking up those loose ends. So he was able to do that very easily. And, we'll have to see when they start, splitting up or pushing down mid lane again. They are at their best when they're in lane. We will see them just, barreling down this mid after Renekton gets momentum bottom. And they could probably just poke down the mid tower because of the range that Kog'Maw has. There really wouldn't be a lot of danger there. They, obviously they want to keep Kog alive. They don't want to allow them to engage on Kog, but I'd say he's generally pretty safe, and they can just kind of wear down that mid tower.
Yep, and that's really what Froggen's been doing this entire game anyway. That's really always we saw TF leave lane way too much. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep on poking away this tower, force someone to come back, try and force someone to just be here to defend us. And Shen was there to pick up the slack, and because he was there trying to defend towers, we were not in jungle, we were not farming, we're not ganking. And we're just going to go ahead and continue that aggression. We may actually see everyone wandering now over towards Baron. Ash, we did get vision with that arrow. I think we're just going to go ahead and try and clear some wards here and then just start right up ahead. They definitely have the damage output with Ziggs and with Kog'Maw, but we have the TF ult coming in. Is he going to come in on any of this?
Yeah, I think that TF ult was probably a little bit premature. And obviously, we have the benefit of being able to see the enemy team. He was concerned that they're just going to start rushing Baron and start attacking it. But they still would have been in the early stages. And even if TF ulted there, his team wasn't in position to engage. So you want to wait until your team's ready and see if you can catch him out of position. But Yellow Pete getting some nice harass onto CLG.EU. He's down below half. And now all of a sudden, even if they decide to engage, they don't really have that good opportunity because of how low TF is.
Yeah, we got the poke in. He's already at half health. If we go in on this, we're going to be a severe disadvantage. We got the minefield keeping them slowed if they do decide to get in on this. But Froggen, he's out, way far out in front. Wicked's not too far behind if we need that tanky body. But Snoopy, he's just been here chilling in the pit, clearing wards. That's all he's been doing. Just MTW's like, oh man, we need to get a ward in there. We need to get vision. Now he's still there. He's still got the oracles. He's not really going too far away. But we have MTW realizing, oh, hey, if you're gonna start camping Baron, we try and poke in and get that tower. Caress almost getting caught out. We did have the safeguard over 2 watts, so we will be able to get back to safety. And now MTW's now back converging again. We have Snoopy here clearing the ward in that bush. And we got Easy is back. Being a little bit too much of a premature taunt. He will be caught out by Snoopy and by Wicked. We got the Shen ult going down. We focusing here on the wall, trying to get out of that fight, but now Resto's got a little bit too far out. We got the Ziggs bomb coming in. We get 4 members of MTW with that one. Snoopy now focusing down on Crest. We got the axe, we got the slow, and he will not be able to get the safety. Wicked is a little bit low, but Easy's trying to get in a full retreat here. Ziggs will flash, get the auto tech, and finish him. 3 members. MTW down. Everyone's still alive on CLG. That's a Baron.
Yeah, so this is going to be a free Baron. I thought maybe they would push in for the inhibitor, but they still have very strong pushing capabilities, so you don't have to worry about it as much. They can come for this Baron. And the big thing, it was interesting, you just see how strong CLG is in fights, and MTW knows that they don't have the potential to match up with them. So I actually liked the Shen taunt in at the beginning, and it seemed like he was kind of out of position. But what he was trying to do, they're just trying to make something happen. And CLG is so much stronger in fights. His thought was, okay, if I jump in here, he had both Renekton and Mundo on him, and then the rest of CLG was actually split on the other side, which gave his team an opportunity to all engage onto Cog and Ziggs. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the hard engage that they wanted to. They were all clumped up in the AoE. We had so much protection with Janna, and then obviously all of them dropping quickly to the damage that Ziggs and Kog'Maw have. And it's just that's just the fact of the team that CLG has. They have such a strong late game team, and there's actually the surrender. So that last fight was like the desperation fight. They knew, all right, if we don't win this, it's over. They didn't win it. It was over.
It was over.
And so we'll go into game number 2. CLG.EU taking game number 1.